It has often been emphasized that Christianity is unlike any other religion, for it stands or falls by certain events which are alleged to have occurred during a short period of time some 20 centuries ago. Those stories are presented in the New Testament, and as new evidence is revealed, it will become clear that they do not represent historical realities. The Church agrees, saying, "Our documentary sources of knowledge about the origins of Christianity and its earliest development are chiefly the New Testament scriptures, the authenticity of which we must, to a great extent, take for granted." The Church makes extraordinary admissions about its New Testament. For example, when discussing the origin of those writings, the most distinguished body of academic opinion ever assembled admits that the Gospels do not go back to the 1st century of the Christian era. This statement conflicts with priesthood assertions that the earliest Gospels were progressively written during the decades following the death of the Gospel Jesus Christ. In a remarkable aside, the Church further admits that the earliest of the extant manuscripts of the New Testament, it is true, do not date back beyond the middle of the 4th century AD. That is some 350 years after the time the Church claims that a Jesus Christ walked the sands of Palestine. And here the true story of Christian origins slips into one of the biggest black holes in history. There is, however, a reason why there were no New Testaments until the 4th century. They were not written until then, and here we find evidence of the greatest misrepresentation of all time. It was British-born Flavius Constantinus, also known as Constantine, who authorized the compilation of the writings now called the New Testament. After the death of his father in 306 AD, Constantine became king of Britain, Gaul, and Spain, and then, after a series of victorious battles, emperor of the Roman Empire. Christian historians give little or no hint of the turmoil of the times and suspend Constantine in the air, free of all human events happening around him. In truth, one of Constantine's main problems was the uncontrollable disorder amongst presbyters and their belief in numerous gods. The majority of modern-day Christian writers suppress the truth about the development of their religion and conceal Constantine's efforts to curb the disreputable character of the presbyters who are now called Church Fathers. The peculiar type of oratory expounded by them was a challenge to a settled religious order. Ancient records reveal the true nature of the presbyters, and the low regard in which they were held has been subtly suppressed by modern church historians. In reality, they were the most rustic fellows, teaching strange paradoxes. They openly declared that none but the ignorant was fit to hear their discourses. They never appeared in the circles of the wiser and better sort, but always took care to intrude themselves among the ignorant and uncultured, rambling around to play tricks at fairs and markets. They lard their lean books with the fat of old fables, and still the less do they understand, and they write nonsense on vellum, and still be doing never done. Clusters of presbyters had developed many gods and many lords, and numerous religious sects existed, each with differing doctrines. Presbyterial groups clashed over attributes of their various gods, and altar was set against altar in competing for an audience.